Why is my commentary so like monotone? We're gonna have a controller right here because I got to keep the ring light on.
Really?
Yeah.
Unprofessional.
Gaming channel. Now it's official. Why?
Our intros are way too long.
And they make no sense.
Anyway, we're gonna do a tier list for you today.
Lord of the Rings. It's gonna have a couple Hobbit characters in here.
What's going on?
How you doing? Why is my commentary?
You went. How you doing?
Why is my commentary so like monotone? We're gonna have a controller right here because I got to keep the ring light on.
Really?
Yeah.
Unprofessional.
Gaming channel. Now it's official. Why?
Our intros are way too long.
And they make no sense.
Anyway, we're gonna do a tier list for you today.
Lord of the Rings. It's gonna have a couple Hobbit characters in here. There's one I have no idea who it is. Might be Celebrimbor.
It's a good little mix of characters here.
Yeah. Might be Celebrimbor right here on the bottom.
And
right
this is
corner.
going to be from Lord of the Rings films and the Hobbit films. There's characters from both.
Couple characters from the Hobbit, not too many.
The cool ones.
I think it's really only the one wizard.
Is it just Radagast?
I think it's just Radagast.
Tom Bombadil.
Yeah, but he wasn't in any of the films. I don't want to exclude him. Well, should we exclude him and Celebrimbor?
Either way, it doesn't matter to me.
I think we can exclude him. We'll just make it based on the films.
Okay.
So do we want to start from the top here with Frodo?
Yeah, we'll just start there and we'll go down.
Okay. So, Frodo.
Frodo first. Main character, I put that in quotes because it's more of a collection of characters.
I mean, I feel like I'm going to be biased here.
Well, you're always biased on tier lists.
I mean, you could almost make an argument for S tier for every one of these characters.
You could. Well, it's because it's such a collection of of characters. That's why.
So should we relegate this to fighting or just overall, like what we think the character is? We're only doing one, so should we just do overall?
We'll just do overall.
I mean, Frodo, if it wasn't for Frodo, the ring wouldn't have been destroyed. Actually, if it wasn't for Gollum, the ring wouldn't have been destroyed.
What am I saying?
And Sam.
He's the one who carried him up.
See, that's what I'm saying.
So hard. I mean, realistically, I wouldn't say Frodo's my favorite character.
Well, no.
I would put him B.
What?
That's what I would put him. I didn't connect with Frodo that much when I watched the films.
See, I connected with him, but I feel like he... See, I'm going to take way too long doing this. I could see why you would put him at a B. I could see why other people would put him higher. I kind of want to put him at an A.
It's just my personal opinion, you know.
I kind of want to put him at an A because he had a hand in destroying the ring, but everybody else did too.
You are right. That's a big important. Put him at an A. That's a big important part.
And he volunteered to take the ring.
Drew, he did.
Nobody else did that.
You're not wrong. He was willing to do it when nobody else would.
Okay, Boromir.
Boromir. I liked Boromir.
D. He died. D for dead.
He had an interesting little thing where he was tempted by the ring, but in the end he allowed them to get away. I mean, he died, but he sacrificed his life.
I feel like you can't put him anything lower than a B.
Plus the memes with Boromir are just good. There's just some good ones out there. I'd probably put him at a B, especially since he was only in one film.
Sam, I kind of want to put Samwise at an S.
That's where I would.
Because he's the only one that took the ring and willingly gave it back.
To me, he was the only one that wasn't ever tempted.
See, in the films, did you read all the books?
Long time ago.
So did I.
I need to read the books again.
I think he was the only one that really willingly had the ring and then gave it back.
He just give it away, yeah.
Aragorn resisted it, but he never had it.
But I feel like if he would have had it for a long time, it would have affected, because he's a man.
See, I'm thinking about Sam actually had the ring. He actually had the ring for a while and took it back to Frodo.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to put him in an S.
I think Sam's an S. He's the unsung hero of this series.
Denethor, right? Boromir's dad?
Yes. Hated him, but that's kind of what you were supposed to do. So, I mean, the actor did a good job of it.
I don't want to put him at a D because I feel like he still had a part in keeping Minas Tirith alive for what he did.
He did.
But he didn't rule it very well. I mean, he was a steward.
Yeah.
And he was a placeholder. I feel like he's...
A C. I'd put him a C. Are there any Ds? I don't know if there's going to be any Ds.
He wasn't worthless. but he wasn't.
He was like
Great.
below tier, below par.
Elrond.
Elrond's awesome. You don't see him a lot.
He did that fight scene he had with in the Hobbit against the ring race was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
But because I feel like
Plus, he's been around for so long in the universe.
yes,
Like the actor. I can't even remember the actor's name right now.
you'd have to read a lot of the backstory on him.
You do. A lot of his best stuff is going to be in the Silmarillion. And
Yes,
I've never read the Silmarillion, so I don't know if he's mentioned. I'm assuming he is.
I feel like because of the films and what we've seen of him.
If you're talking about just in Lord of the Rings, just in the first 3 films, I'd probably put him B.
I agree
But with
you.
his fight scene in The Hobbit, I'd probably put him at an A. I say a B. Put him B because he's a cool character, but he's more of a mentor, I guess.
Eomer's kind of the same thing with Elrond. You don't see a lot of him.
Yeah.
You don't hear a lot about him.
No,
He did have a really cool scene.
he had one of the coolest things ever. He had 2 of the coolest. When he was on his horse, when they charged the enemy,
When
at
he-
the end of the 2 towers, and on the plains in the Return of the King.
When he rode down with Gandalf.
Yeah.
I feel like he's the same as Elrond.
Probably. He's just a solid character.
You want to put him at a B?
Let's put him in a B.
Your noises on the ground is the cat.
That's the cat running around.
Eowyn.
I like that one. Did one of the, she took out one of the most powerful characters. She took out one of the most powerful villains.
The Witch King.
She took out the Witch King. So, that's a solid, at least B.
I feel like you
the
put her...
little love thing she had with Aragorn,
No, I didn't feel that too much.
I liked it because Aragorn didn't just fall for her like a character would in a lot of movies. He loved somebody and that's who he was loyal to. But she liked him.
I feel like it was good for both of their character
It
development.
was.
in the movie.
It was. I don't know. Does the Witch King?
I feel like that
is
puts her
an
at
A?
an A.
I think an A.
Because the story said no man could kill her.
It's true. She wasn't. She wasn't a man.
That's why Mary was able to stab... Because he wasn't a man either.
No, he was a hobbit.
He was a hobbit, and she killed him.
Yep.
Messed them both up pretty bad, though. Gimli. I almost
love Gimli, man.
I almost want to put all the 3 main fellowship, like Gimli, Aragorn, and Legolas, at an S. Just because of how much we saw of them.
That's hard.
It is.
It's hard
really
to put a character at an S. I'd put, as much as I liked him,
An A?
I'd probably put him at A.
Yeah, because he didn't have as much
He's
as...
he's a fun character. If you've never seen Lord of the Rings, you got to go watch the movies.
I mean,
First of all,
his combat, Gimli's combat was unbelievable.
yeah, and his interactions with Legolas were just.
I almost said he's a tank. This isn't a video game.
And his interactions with Legolas are just great.
We got Aragorn.
I almost think it's an automatic S.
I feel like if you're going to put any of the fellowship at an S, it would have to be Aragorn.
Yeah, I agree.
He's the king. He led the charge in the Black Gate. He led all the main battles.
And then he ruled after.
And he came back from exile.
Yep, he brought in the, what was the ghost army called?
Oh, Lord.
The ghost, anyway.
I can't remember.
He brought the ghost army.
The Ghost of Pelennor, the Pelennor Fields.
Yep.
That's not what they're called, but...
I think Aragorn's an S, definitely.
Yeah, I agree with you. Legolas, I feel like you put him up there with
You
Gimli.
have to put him with Gimli at an A.
I know we're not talking about them too much, but I feel like it's just straight up just an A. Their combat's really good.
Yeah.
They're an integral part of the story.
They are.
But they're not as much as
Plus,
Sam.
you have the three. You have them and Aragorn together that are together for a long time throughout all 3 films.
Yeah, we got Liv Tyler.
I wish they would have just named her that in the film. Just Liv. I don't know.
Arwen, I feel like you put with her dad.
Probably.
She was important, but you didn't see a lot of her. She did save Frodo.
Yeah.
But I feel like that didn't put her up there enough
Because
as an A.
it wasn't quite. She saved him, but it wasn't. It wasn't like the Weathertop saving that Aragorn did.
So B.
I feel like you have to put her with her dad at B because she's just a solid character. I feel like that's what the B tier is going to be on here. Is just solid. A's a little bit above that, and then S is obviously the great characters, and anything below that.
No, Bilbo. Because of the Hobbit, I feel like that elevates him above a B. Just because of what he did.
Plus, he was like the starting point
He was.
He was the starting point of the whole story.
He brought in the ring to be destroyed, but
Yeah.
to be fair, Gollum really did that after Isildur killed
Yeah.
Sauron.
Yeah.
So do we put him at an A or a B?
I would put Bilbo at a B personally, but if you think he deserves an A, you can put him there.
I mean, I can't think of any reason that would solidly. He did. He started the story. He was with Gandalf. But I feel like he didn't do as much as these other characters.
I don't feel like he did as much as the characters in A. That's why
I
would put him
agree
at a
with you.
B.
I agree with you. Faramir.
Faramir. I liked Faramir, but he also wasn't in the movies a lot
Until the third movie.
until the third movie. Good, solid character.
He was in the second movie, but he didn't do as much.
Yeah,
He defied his father to save
to save the city.
Minas Tirith.
Yes.
I feel like if you're going to put any of the... I almost want to put him above his brother at an A. I feel like you can't put him here with Boromir because...
I don't know. I just feel like he's another solid character. I don't.
I agree with you, but I feel like...
But did he do as much as the other ones in A?
I think he did because he retreated... His dad told us
He did hold that area
Osgiliath for a long time.
Okay.
And
yeah,
if he didn't do that, they would have attacked.
they wouldn't even have had.
No, Minas
Minas
Tirith would have been gone.
Okay, I agree with that. I have no problem with an A for Faramir.
Mary...
The other hobbits, other than Sam and Frodo, you going to interrupt our video? The other hobbits, I feel like, apart from Frodo and Sam, I don't want to put them at a C, but they just...
Well, he did... Okay, with Mary, he did go with the Ents to destroy...
That's
Isengard.
true, they did do that, so that's a solid B at least.
At least a B. Did he do more than the people at B? I know Amber
Probably.
rode with Gandalf,
Probably not.
but isn't that really integral to...
It was. I mean, it was an important part of the story.
He destroyed Isengard. If it wasn't for
That's
Mary...
true. Other than that, though, I feel like they're a B character.
I feel like because of Isengard, I want to put him in an A. I feel like Pippin is at a B, though, because he didn't do as much. He was brave, and he stood up in Minas Tirith and fought when he didn't have to, but I feel like he didn't influence as much.
I could see that.
The only thing that makes me want to put him in A is that he destroyed Isengard.
He was more influential with the Ents.
He
that's
didn't
true.
destroy Isengard, but
Can you imagine if he just did it?
he convinced
He convinced the
Ents.
Ents. And he was the one who told them to walk that direction so they would
Mhm.
see the trees being destroyed. So that was smart. I don't mind putting him in an A. And I agree with you about Pippin with the B.
Do we want to just go straight to Pippin?
Yeah,
Put
let's
him
just
at a
go
B?
straight to him. We'll put Pippin at a B because he did do some good stuff, but it wasn't quite to the same level.
Wormtongue, I feel like he might be the only one that's a D.
I hated him. How do you not? I don't think I've ever heard anybody that...
The only argument that anybody would ever have is he killed Saruman, but in the books that didn't happen.
No.
Saruman came back to
To the Shire.
Hobbiton.
Yeah, the Hobbiton. To the Shire and took over. And the Hobbits actually over, which is even funnier when you think about it.
Yeah. I almost said imagine a bunch of midgets attacking somebody really powerful. It's
Like a president.
what's wrong with me?
Okay.
We say jokes a lot, so don't get...
So
Angry.
I agree at the most C, but I don't even think he's as good as...
I think he's a D.
I think he's a D character.
I'm going to put him down here.
We should have added
I'm
an
going
F.
to put him off the screen.
What if you could?
What am I doing? Okay, Gollum. Gollum actually technically destroyed the ring.
True. But...
He can't be lower than a C. And if it wasn't for Gollum, the ring wouldn't have
The
been...
big question about Gollum is this is where you kind of get into, do you put what they did and their importance to the story higher or the character higher? Because I didn't like Gollum,
I didn't either, but I thought they were really...
but he was integral to the story.
I feel like if you put him at a B, that's like a cop-out. You almost have to put him at an A.
So as in terms of being integral to the story, he probably needs to go in A.
He probably needs to go an S if he's
Plus the work by
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis was just unbelievable. That everything was motion captured.
Because how important he was.
He was important.
I'm going to put him up here. Now, I guess people could have the argument with the Isildur, but because we didn't see him too much.
I don't even know if we should count him. Or do we want to rate him?
Yeah, because Aragorn used that sword that Isildur had, and it cut off the ring.
I mean, if you think about Isildur, though, you almost have to hate the guy because he could have ended it all.
Yeah.
He had the, I mean, and he didn't even have the ring for that long. It was right after the battle.
He showed that the ring almost was Elrond had just killed him and threw him in the fire. But do we put him at a C?
Let's put him at a C because you didn't see him a lot. Plus, he had the chance to end it.
No, we have two Witch Kings here. I don't know if this is supposed to be a ring race.
I think that's the one when they're on the plains.
It is, and that's... Well, no, he's not with the dragon here. Huh. We'll just say this is the one with the dragon, this is the one without.
Okay.
I know this is where he's on the
So is that the Witch King there?
That's the Witch King there. Actually, there's no dragon here. I guess let's say this is the one with the dragon. I think this is when he's on top of the tower, isn't it? With Gandalf?
I can't even tell.
Anyway, let's just say this is the Witch King with
Okay.
Pelennor Fields. Right before he died, I feel like he was always powerful.
They're really interesting characters. I mean, it's,
Yes.
in terms of their design and everything, the design's really, really good.
If you read the backstory of the Witch King, he's one of the scariest, if not the
Yes.
scariest character.
Yeah.
The main general, like if you want to talk about biblical stuff, I guess he would be Antichrist?
I guess.
The only reason why I'm mentioning that is because there's connections
Well, there's a lot of biblical references in Lord of the Rings and Chronicles of Narnia, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Sorry for the cut there. With the cat's running through, I don't want him to get scared or
So the
knock
Witch
something
King. Going back to the Witch King.
off. Like we said, the backstory of him is really cool.
But you don't get to see it in the films either.
No. Do we want to put him at a
So I'd put him at a C. Now that's not taking away. He's still really interesting and he's really creepy. But in terms of how much he does and importance, he's not super important to the story either.
Let's just go straight to Witch King with the dragon.
Okay.
I feel like with the dragon he'd be a B, because in the films he did a lot more with his.
I mean, you gotta like the dragon.
He did kill Theoden,
Yes.
which I'm not saying is a good thing, but it's just.
It was big.
And he did a lot of damage with this dragon.
Probably the B.
I would agree with you. Now, should we just go straight into Theoden?
We can.
He's the king of Rohan.
So he's important.
He was extremely important at Helm's Deep.
Yes. Him and Aragorn kind of held him together.
And actually, in Minas Tirith.
Until Gandalf, yes.
If he didn't show up at Minas Tirith, they would have lost.
Yes.
That's one of the coolest scenes ever.
So he had some really integral parts to the story.
Do we want to put him at an A above the other kings?
I feel like he'd probably have to be at a B because he wasn't in it a whole lot. The things he did were really good. Did he do as much as the people in A? That's the question.
Well, like I argued with Mary, if it wasn't for him,
I feel like he has to be an A because of the things he did. They were extremely important.
The only thing I'm thinking about is Pelennor Fields, where he showed up.
Let's put him in an A. I think he deserves an A. Plus the actor. I like the actor a lot.
I think I'd like to go into Radagast next.
Okay.
Because that's the last of, I would say, the lower tier. I'm not gonna do. I think that's Celebrimbor. I'm not gonna do him in Tom Bombadil because we didn't get to see them in the films.
No.
And I don't even know if that's who that is. So, Radagast. Do you put him at a C?
If you read his backstory in the books, he's a lot more interesting. In the movies, he's just kind of a cool character.
He is.
I'd probably put him at a C because he's not super integral to the story. He's just fun.
What's the name of the wizards? I almost said
can't,
Mithril. That's the name of them.
I can't even remember all of them.
I don't know. That's in the Silmarillion.
I'd probably put him at a C.
He's in tune with nature and all that stuff.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just don't see him
Yeah,
a lot.
he's the brown wizard.
Yes. We didn't get to see the blue wizards, do we?
No.
Okay, which of these four major characters do you want to look at?
Let's go with Saruman next.
Okay.
Extremely powerful.
Yes.
The fact that he turned is almost... I feel like him turning is what changed the tide of the war in their favor.
Well, if it wasn't for him, I don't think Sauron would have...
I don't think he would have had as much of a chance. I mean, he created the Uruk-hai.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he bred the Uruk-hai and created an army.
And Helm's Deep may have never happened.
It may not have happened.
Minas Tirith might have been the only battle that they fought.
But he's also... You hate him because he's a traitor.
Yes.
And he's supposed to be one of the... what are the wizards called?
I can't remember.
I can't think of anything right now. But It starts with an M. Anyway.
It does, and I can't remember the name.
Anyway, he's supposed to be one of the beings that you're supposed to be able to trust and confide with, and he betrays the Fellowship.
With how powerful he is and how much of part of the story he is.
Great actor.
Oh, yeah.
Christopher Lee.
Mm-hmm. Did he just pass away?
I think he did a while back. So, in terms of probably an A, B at the least. No lower than a B.
I mean, if I'm gonna make that argument for Theoden and Merry,
that's true.
I feel like he'd have to be at an A because of how big he was with the story.
Yep.
Do we want to lead that into Gandalf?
We can lead it into Gandalf.
That's Gandalf the White.
Gandalf the White. You had Gandalf the Gray.
There's no Gandalf the Gray here. I guess we could just combine them in two.
Yeah, just Gandalf.
Gandalf, just in general, is a huge part of the story.
There's nobody that doesn't like Gandalf that I know of.
If
Ian McKellen, another great actor.
If we're going to talk about biblical stuff, I guess he would be God. In terms of this story that we're looking at here, I would think.
I don't even know what you'd compare him to. An angel?
Probably
like an angel. But, Gandalf the Grey in the first film.
He's important in all over the story.
He's fun. He's really fun as Gandalf the Grey, and when he gets to Gandalf the White, it's more serious. I mean, he's what
Sauron. He's what Saruman was supposed to be.
Yeah.
I feel like he has to be an S.
I feel like Gandalf's an S, almost automatically.
Do we want to do Sauron next or Galadriel?
Let's do Galadriel first.
I feel like she might be the most powerful character in the entire universe.
She
might be the most powerful character.
She's one of the most powerful.
She banished Saruman from Middle Earth.
Yeah.
Well, not from Middle Earth, but from the area he was in that keep.
Yep.
To Mordor.
Yeah.
Back to Mordor.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about the Hobbit, and the Hobbit, Saruman and the Ringwraiths were up on. That wasn't Weathertop. I can't remember what that was.
I know what you're talking about.
Where Azog was with his forces, and she banished him from there.
Power-wise, she's at least an A. You don't see her a whole lot, especially in the Lord of the Rings films. She's just in one part of those.
She had one of the Rings of Power. We didn't mention that.
She doesn't fight.
She doesn't.
In the Lord of the Rings films, she has no fight.
She's like an angel type figure too.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like she has to be an S.
Probably an S.
Now, Sauron, in terms of story,
you have to read his backstory to really get the full depth of who he is.
I mean, he's such a big part of Lord of the Rings.
I mean, he's the main antagonist.
He's the main enemy.
He's the main enemy.
Do we put him at an S for that?
I think you have to, especially being the main enemy. We don't even have any other villains up there. I feel like you have to put him there. There's nobody else that's on his level.
In terms of power with villains, nobody is as strong as he is.
Not in this. Not in this. Now, obviously, when you get into the backstory, there were people more powerful than him.
Morgoth? Was that the main?
Morgoth was one. There were some other ones. But in terms of this story here, he's easily the most powerful. I mean, it's not even close.
I mean, we only had one D.
Yeah, which we expected. Most of the characters are good in Lord of the Rings.
I feel like every character here is solid. Now, there was a larger tier list with like
way
orcs and stuff like that.
I'm not that in depth with all the characters.
But I feel like what we have here is pretty solid.
Yeah.
I feel like we justified.
Is there anybody we would want to change that you can think of?
No, everything I make is perfect. But I thought you were going to laugh at that. You had no reaction to that.
But,
I don't think there is.
No.
Do you think there's anything we should change?
No.
I think we made an argument for every one of these characters pretty well.
I'd like to see other tier lists and see how other people did it.
And speaking of making another tier list, we're going to do a couple others. See how they go.
Yeah.
See how well y'all like them.
Some of our other tier lists we've done pretty decent. So, and we got and you have the new Lord of the Rings TV series that's starting to film now and coming out. So, and I mean, I don't think any of these characters, I think Gandalf might be in it, but most of these other characters aren't going to be in it because it's not a prequel, technically a prequel, but it's back. But I like the list. I like what we put together.
I do too, and that's our Lord of the Rings tier list.
Yep.
I mean, if there's other tier lists, because we do need ideas that you want to see.
We do. We need ideas.
Go ahead and mention it. shout it out to us in the
Tell us
comment
what
section.
you think about this.
And tell us what you think about the tier list.
Yep.
Anything else that you can think of?
No, I think that's it.
We're going to sign off here. Again, thanks for watching our videos. Thanks for leaving a comment. See y'all later.
Have a good day.
Why'd I do that?
Like a strike.